Okay, so as we're going into this next chapter, we're going to go back to kind of just the basics. Being able to graph, and when it's given to you in slope-intercept form, okay? That means y equals mx plus b, plus or minus b. So when we're graphing something, we always have to have a starting point. That starting point is your y-intercept, which is where it is on the y-axis. Should be easy to find. From there, we plot the other points by using the slope. And so a little cheat sheet here. So if we look at number 1, okay, so first let's make sure we can identify what the slope and the y-intercept are. The slope is your coefficient next to x, so the slope for number 1 is 1/3. The y-intercept is the constant, so -4, okay? So we always start with the y-intercept. Since my y-intercept is -4, that means I'm looking for -4 on this y-axis. And since it's negative and the center is 0, the origin, we're going to go down 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That's my starting point. So you always want to start there. Then the slope tells me which direction to go from the y-intercept. Now, since we always want to make sure the slope is in fraction form, which it is, and then the numerator tells us if we're going to go up or down. The denominator tells us if we're going to go left or right. So since the numerator is +1, we're going to go up 1. Since the denominator is +3, we're going to go right 3. And all I'm looking at is this little cheat sheet here. Okay, so I like to use arrows to help me out. So from -4, we're going to go up 1, right 3. So up 1, then right 3, 1, 2, 3. And this is where I place my next dot. And then I continue that pattern. So I'm going to go up 1, right 3 to place another dot. Now, when I run out of room over here on the right side, we want to finish the graph, so we're going to go in the opposite direction. That means instead of going up 1, right 3, we're going to go down 1, left 3. So just the opposite of both of those. And then down 1, left 3. And now I can take my ruler or whatever straight edge you have, and we're just going to connect those dots to make a line, like that. So look at number 2. This time my slope is -5. Now we want -5 to be in fraction form, so we're going to do -5 over +1 to make it a fraction. It's not going to be -5 over -1 because then that means +5, and that's not what it was. The y-intercept is +3. So on my y-axis, we're going to start at +3, which means if 0 is the center, we're going to go up 3, and we're going to plot that point. -5 over 1, -5 means we're going to go down 5, and then +1 in the denominator means we're going to go right 1. So from +3, we're going to go down 5, and then right 1. Now on this one, if I try to go down 5, right 1 again, I'm off the graph, which I can kind of guesstimate is going to be there. But since I can't go in either direction anymore, we can just use those 2 dots to draw my line. And there's that one. Number 3, this one makes it tricky because you're like, well, there's not a slope because there's nothing in front of x. Well, my invisible slope, I guess you can call it, is +1. And since we want to make +1 a fraction, we're going to put 1 over 1. And then the y-intercept is +2. So then on my y-axis, we're going to look for +2. And that's where I start. Now, +1 over +1 means I'm going to go up 1, right 1 from +2. So I'm going to go up 1, right 1, up 1, right 1, up 1, right 1, and continue that pattern until I run out of space. To go the opposite direction, we're going to go down 1, left 1, 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 down 1, left 1. Once I have my dots plotted, I use my ruler to help me draw my line. Number 4. Here, my slope is 3, but to make it a fraction, we're going to put it over 1, so 3 over 1. My y-intercept is not there. Now, because of that, that means that my y-intercept is actually 0, which means my starting point is at the 0, 0, the origin. So I'm going to start by graphing there. Since my slope is 3 over 1, we're going to go up 3, right 1. So from my y-intercept of 0, we're going to go up 3, right 1, up 3, right 1. Since I ran out of space going this direction, we're going to go down 3, left 1, down 3, left 1. So it should make a straight line. So then I connect my dots by drawing my line, and there you go. Number 5 can be tricky for some, so make sure you pay extra close attention. My slope is -1/2. Here's what makes it tricky. When they put the negative in the center of 1 and 2, a lot of people are like, well, do I put it with a 1 or do I put it with a 2? It does not matter. What matters is you don't put it with both. I don't put -1 over -2 because then that makes it positive and it wasn't positive 1/2. I just say to make it easier, put it with the numerator. So I'm going to put -1 over +2. And then my y-intercept is +2. So I'm going to start with the y-intercept. So if the center is 0, that means go up 2. Now, since I've changed it to -1 over 2, that means we're going to go down 1, right 2. So down 1, right 2, down 1, right 2, down 1, right 2. And then in the opposite direction, we're going to go up 1, left 2, up 1, left 2, up 1, left 2. And then you connect your dots to make your line. One more simple example. So this one, number 6, my slope is -1. Since it is -1, to make it a fraction, I put -1 over 1. And then my y-intercept is 4. Since my y-intercept is 4, that means I'm going to go up 4 to graph my next point. And then -1 over 1 means down 1, right 1. So I'm going to go down 1, right 1, 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 down 1, right 1. And the opposite direction would be up 1, left 1, up 1, left 1. And then I draw my line by connecting the dots. So those are simple cases, different in every way. Then we talk about these special ones, okay? So whenever all you have is y equals -5, and you're not given a slope, that means the slope is 0. Let me just put it into layman's terms to make it easier, okay? When you see y equals -5, that means it's going to be a line that crosses the y-axis at -5. Well, -5 on the y-axis is down 5, okay? And since it's going to be a line that crosses at -5 and has a slope of 0, this means it's going to be a horizontal line, just like that. So let's do another one of those, like number 10. It says y equals 8. Again, since it's just y equals 8, that means the slope is 0. That means it's going to cross the y-axis at 8, and it's going to be another horizontal line going like that. So if that's the case, then what about x equals a number? So if x equals a number, that means it's going to cross the x-axis at that number. So the x-axis at -1 is to the left one. That's right there. And this time, though, it's an undefined slope, which means it's going to be a vertical line going up and down like that. So number 9, x equals 3, that means it's going to cross the x-axis at +3. And again, it has an undefined slope, so that means it's going to be a vertical line going up and down. So those are your special cases.